Please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Folks. Judy. He just called you Judge Judy.
Sure. Great. Now everybody's gonna start calling me Judy. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 20th as written. All in favor? Thank you. Payroll and payables is done. ADA update. They're finishing up on the roof, cliff.
His is included in there.
Damn. Okay, well, the roof's done over there. That's about as far as I can go. Waiting on the paving and the striping for that. We don't have anything on. The remodel in the community center bathrooms is complete. New dispensers will be installed in the very near future. Roof over the community center is done. Waiting on the paving and parking lot striping. The contractor's ordering a new door for this bathroom right here. As soon as that's in, they'll install it. And we've had the front doors, the front entry doors to this building, had a company come out for a quote on automated doors. Either way we go, it's either we're replacing what's out there because those doors are about slap wore out. And same as what we have or automated, depends on the price. Tonight is department heads. Lynn is sick. ACO.
So I had still trying to find that missing dog at the Brownfield. Paid back and dog complaint, a few of them, and I went to training for 2 days in Portland with the ASPC. Okay, and a question, Brownfield Road, is that a town road or private road?
Ryfield Road.
Yes.
Public right away. Public right away. There you go.
So nobody owns the Brownfield Road. The town does, but not an individual.
There's a difference between ownership and right of way.
I'm asking it because it was posted on Facebook that you didn't want no dogs on his property.
Well, if they're on Ryfield Road itself, then they should be all set.
They were on the pictures, so.
Okay.
That's why I wanted, because
Right.
I wanted clarification on.
Okay. Could you reach out to Leah and pose that question, please?
It's Ryfield.
Ryfield. And it's public right of way
Okay.
on town for town use.
Okay.
She'll get the legal, as soon as you get an answer from her, forward, send it if you would.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just told everybody to keep the dogs off until I got clarification.
Okay. Chief?
Got did 7 medical calls, 1 two vehicle crash, citizens assist, and mutual aid Friday yesterday. The new used credit card should be ready by Friday. I ain't luck at all. Went to Denmark school for alternative day last Wednesday afternoon, which was cut short. We were going to do UTV training Saturday, but it looks like we might get rained out.
Yeah.
Winter like it's over there. I don't go in the water.
You float.
Yeah, I do. They're working on the speed trailer. I got that ready to deploy. I'm hoping to put it out here on the corner. We come on Main Street, go by the 35 mile, just around the corner, hook it to that pole out there, see what happens. And I got cliff ordering before small. Don't try to see how
I
fast
see
you can
these
go.
all the time.
And I get Cliff and all before, speed signs for it, because that's a big thing I've been getting, is that they don't know how fast they're going, even though it's, oh, do a speed limit sign. They don't know what the speed is, so, okay, so I'm gonna have to get me some small sign to make a bracket, so. So I got a 15, a 35, a 4, 15, a 25, 35, and a 45.
Okay.
At least they know how fast they go, this is the speed you're supposed to be going. And they hooked to a 35-mile-an-hour sign up here. Well, we don't know what the speed limit is. Okay. Okay.
My world.
Shouldn't be traffic.
So that's where we're at so far.
Health officer,
About a week ago, I was out making one of my routine health and welfare safety checks here in town. I usually go to the rougher neighborhoods. But this time,
Doug Way.
I don't want to tell anybody down here in town. But I wound up over in the canoe put in place there at the bridge. And I couldn't help but notice that unlike years past, there is a pole, and it does have a sign on it, and it says, put the propane bottles in this container. Problem is, there's no container. I've been back on a couple of occasions since then, there's still no container. I ended up taking a bunch of those smaller tanks myself and bringing them to the transfer station. What I don't want to see happen is for someone to pick them up and throw them in the dumpster that's been brought down there. Evidently, we have a change in who's handling the trash.
Change of ownership, same company.
Okay. Well, I guess what I want to do is ask the board if it would be all right for me to speak to, I'll say Jim at Woodland Acres. You know, they have those meetings of their organization. That site down there is legally, administratively, it belongs to that organization, the Saco River Recreation Council, as of the holiday itself. And it ends on Labor Day. And the state supposedly, according to the contract that I have, that I looked at again, the state provides them with considerable amount of money, supposedly to hire police to go down there or whatever. I'm wondering if Jim couldn't ask his fellow council members if they could purchase one of those little barrels and attach it to the pole. Or I'd like to speak, if it's okay, to the new folks that are doing the trash pickup down there, to let them know that those things may be lying around and that they shouldn't throw them in because they don't want to put them in the trash up here at the landfill, at the transfer station. But if it's okay with you guys, I will try my level best to talk with both of those folks and see if we can't get some little kind of a container hold out there again. Is that okay?
How about it, Bill? Flash the badge, brother.
You got it.
Code enforcement's not here. Public Works. New tires on the grader. Ditching Farnsworth Road, vehicle maintenance, vehicle servicing. Waiting on parts for the 11 International. Still waiting on the road gravel, the shoulder gravel for Misty Lane and the paving at the rec center. Rec director.
Rec updates. This week brings the start of Babe Ruth games, although last night's and tomorrow night's are being postponed because of the interference on high school games. They'll play through June and July. T-ball and all three softball teams have a busy schedule throughout the middle of June. We had a lot of rain makeups and stuff. Hopefully we get some decent weather the rest of the way here. Friends of Rec met this past week. We did a lot of Brownfield Day planning. This year's theme is a farm theme or backyard bash. We're gonna get the cow chip bingo squares out, beginning of June. We are doing a fundraiser to offset the cost of the new fence. So we're looking for businesses to, donate. And we'll get, looking to get sponsorship banners to put up on the new fence. They will be eligible for the 501c3 tax exemption and
How much is it for the fence?
for the banners or for the
The
fence?
fence?
The fence was 20,000.
No, you need another fence?
No, this is to offset the cost. No, for the banners, we're looking for, so the banners will be 4x6. I have a drafted up contract actually with me. The banners would be 4x6, a 1-year contract would be $500, and a 3-year contract would be $1,000. Yeah, and again, those are tax exempt. And that would be through the spring and summer season, the fence will be up. So. Next, we're currently looking for swim aids and an instructor. Our head instructor has some health issues and she had to resign just this past week. So we're scrambling now to find an instructor. So if anyone's interested, we need them to be CPR certified and we're willing to help out if the right candidate comes forward.
Who's doing it for Sockeye Valley?
I don't know. I saw they were offering.
Yeah.
Something this year,
Reach out to Jill.
so I will. Besides that, we've got an adult paint class with Hannah, Friday, June 27th at 6 p.m. The cost of that is $30. And we have our usual coffee Thursday mornings and yoga Thursday nights.
Coffee and yoga. SAD, school board member, Miss Egan.
So, our superintendent wrote a letter that's in the issue of the newsletter that just went out today. And I just wanted to read an excerpt from this letter because it's all about the budget vote that is coming up tomorrow night. And it's going to be an unusual budget meeting. So if you can make it, it would be great. So what he wrote was, this year's vote is highly unusual for various reasons. On the one hand, given the current economy and our school funding picture for next year, it's been incredibly challenging to finalize a budget that meets the needs of students while simultaneously being one that voters can financially support. In this economic climate, many families are on fixed incomes and many other families lack disposable income. That means that we cannot simply continue to pass along significant increases to our budget onto taxpayers without regard to the impact of that budget. Just as we all do in our personal lives, we have to make tough decisions to find a balance between our needs and what the budget can support. This budget absorbs significant increases in health insurance, achieves required increases to help us meet an unfunded mandate regarding minimum hourly wages, supports competitive wages for all employees, maintains key personnel to help support the diverse needs of students, which means a care team, an interventionist, and an MTSS coordinator. It also maintains staffing levels that provide reasonable staff to student ratios. Another unique aspect of this budget is the fact that there are pockets of resistance to the budget based upon disapproval of district policies, specifically DEI and transgender student policies. While many people would question the logic of encouraging people to vote down the budget based upon a policy, that is the reality that presents itself this year. My hope is that all district employees and town residents who are able can turn out for this one day, May 28th, tomorrow night, to vote in support of the proposed budget that will support education in our district for next year. The meeting will be at 7 o'clock at Mollyocket School in Freiburg. And lastly, there are those who are advocating strongly against the staffing levels included in this budget, who will be advocating for increases to the proposed budget. As I've tried to demonstrate in past communications, the EPS funding formula is designed to support a minimum or essential level of programming. Operating small schools of less than 100 students does not fit this model, and this mismatch creates financial hardships. We have to be responsive to actual enrollment and make staffing determinations based upon actual student numbers. While it may sound good to add a few $100,000 to the budget to increase staffing, this view completely fails to take into consideration those who are paying to support the budget. In many of our towns, the school portion of the town budget makes up more than 60% of the entire budget. That means that on top of the town's needs and the tax increases needed to support those needs, towns must also absorb the increases that result from the district's budget. While no one likes the idea of cutting positions, this budget continues to allow us to meet the needs of students with adequate staffing, and it also respects the gravity of the financial positions that many taxpayers are navigating each and every day. There's a meeting going on right now at the head of school, Freiburg Academy, where they are putting together a proposal to increase the school budget by $450,000. So they're going to propose that tomorrow night at school budget meeting. So it would be extremely helpful if people show up and have something to say and come out and vote to support the current budget, not with increases or decreases. Deb?
I have a question. I know that Beth will be there tomorrow, taking in the voters.
Mhm.
Will she need help?
Michelle's gonna be there with her,
Michelle's gonna be there? Okay, good.
but you may wanna ask.
I see, I plan on being there, so I'm not missing this meeting.
And they're doing it a little bit differently this year, where when you sign in, you're going to be given a card, because we only want people holding that card up to vote if they're actually residents of the district, because there are some outsiders who are becoming involved, so we only want residents.
What time is it tomorrow?
7 o'clock. And I know that there's a town meeting here at 6, so.
It's
gotta
public
make it-
hearing for
Gotta
the
make it quick, Ricky, so people can get out and vote.
30 minutes. That's all we need. All it is, public hearing for the article on the ballot. So.
Excellent. Any other questions? Concerns?
Concern I have is, I was up in Cape Elizabeth yesterday. And, no, Monday.
Yeah, it is yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Couple days. And they're having the same issue up there. The problem is statewide, there's no question. The town of Cape Elizabeth is on fire with signs. People are fed up with the school budget and the town spending. And I sympathize with the position of the school, but at the same time, what do we do to fix it? You can't just, and I misspoke last week. It'll take 12 years to double our taxes this town, not 10. Between the 3% the town wants each year to try to run the town, the 5% the school wants each year. So we're all looking at 2, 4, 6,000 for taxes now. In 12 years, we'll be looking at 4, 8, and 12,000. I don't know that I have all the answers, but to just go on every year and keep tacking on another 5%, how are we gonna survive this if we don't figure out a way to change it? That's all I'm asking.
It'll take more people to show up to vote.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I have answers, but I mean, you look at the projections. and what it's going to do in the next 10, 12 years, I mean, it's insane.
12 years, I'm just old enough to get Social Security. Don't plan on living on that, but. Yes, sir.
The only thing that I can see, and it's affecting everybody, is somehow they've gotta get control on these insurance companies. Why do we have to keep jacking the rates up on everybody's insurance? Car insurance, health insurance, I mean, like the town just took a huge jump on health insurance this year, right? To cover-
Health and general insurance, yeah.
Yeah, and the school budget did too.
Yep.
So a lot of that has to do with why our taxes keep going up, because the insurance companies are killing us. So somehow they've got to get control of these insurance companies.
Yeah,
Good
it's
luck.
definitely factored.
Is the school big enough? I don't know how this all works, but I worked for a big corporation and they were self-insured. And I don't know that the school can do something like that. I mean, it's,
No
the
idea.
insurance companies, to his point, are killing us all and getting rich off of it.
That'd be a good question for a school board member.
I mean, I think a lot of this is contractual, where the Teachers Association and the school board comes up with a contract every 3 years, and it's
Yeah,
very
same union.
specific about exactly what is covered and who covers it and all that.
Yeah, but don't the insurance companies set the terms?
Yeah, so
They may come up with suggestions that what they want, but the insurance company will say, okay, if you want this, it's gonna cost this amount of money.
we get communication from health insurance that says, here's your increase.
Facebook.
So it's not negotiable,
Right.
so.
Yes, sir.
It'd be interesting to talk to Nate Wadsworth and Rick Bennett and find out why the state doesn't look into it and see why they can't create self-insurance for the entire state. You know, because we have small towns, you know, you've got a big city like Portland, and if you combine, you know, like what those, not only health insurance, but just general insurance, and looked into it to see if the state could create a fund where it would be, you know, self-insured. It'd be interesting to bring that up.
You reached out to Nate.
I did.
Yeah, we're waiting on a response from Nate Wadsworth to come and talk to us.
Who are waiting for?
What?
Who are waiting for?
Yeah, he's gonna, well, he reached out to him, waiting on a response.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right. Correspondence folder. Gonna wait on this one. Cause he's coming in. Not next week, week after. Oh, no, today's, yeah, so next week. When's the 6th?
June 2nd, actually.
Oh, so the 7th. Yeah. No, that ain't right.
Sunday's the first.
Yeah, next week,
First.
the 3rd.
I
Next
thought you
week.
said the 6th.
No, 3rd, June 3rd. So that's when he's coming in. So we're good there. We got the RHR Smith for audit is 15.9 for the financial statement audit, June 30, 2025. And that has been figured in with the current proposed budget that's in the fixed admin cost in the one. You know, we did account, I believe, for $3,000 for journal entry to finish up with the 10 accounts that nobody knew we had, to finalize all that stuff. So that'll require journal entries. So this is signed here. So. There's a admin assistant job description change. So I'm good with that. Fiscal year 26, 2 computer replacements at the cost of $2510. from Northledge Technologies. That's Mike's and somebody else's.
No,
That's because you're hard on equipment.
it's gotta work hard for me. It has to.
So yeah, this is fiscal year 26. We're in receipt of a.
What's the changes in this?
So basically the changes in that is some of the jobs that are listed for me to do has been something that Lynn has taken over to do as the treasurer.
Payroll.
So, payroll.
Payroll was in there.
And that's mostly it. The addition of managing the social media account has been added to that as well.
Biggest thing was getting rid of the payroll. Because
Yeah,
the
well,
assistant hasn't done payroll in almost 4 years now.
All right,
So, yeah,
so,
we never updated it,
okay.
so.
You can keep it and give it to me later. If you want to read it.
All right, we're in receipt of a suggestion dated today. Meeting identification of people speaking. Since some people cannot attend meetings and rely on videos, will you consider having people state their names when they speak? I don't have a problem with it if somebody speaks from the audience to identify themselves. Do you?
No, you have to do it at town meeting.
Yep, works for me. On your sign-up sheet, add that to the top, and on the agenda, put it below.
Yeah, put it down in here.
Yep, put it down there, please.
Do what now?
We'll add it down here. All speakers must identify themselves.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you say.
Could you make that a post on Facebook? Well,
Okay.
thank you. I'll talk to him first. Those 2 days right there. Well, this day, availability. I'm not, no. Availability on this day of him. Okay. The rest of them I don't care, but that day, he needs to be available that night.
That,
Town meeting.
yeah.
He needs to be available, and I won't. I'm not gonna accept. Well, I'm on vacation. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'll reach out to him on this before I sign.
Okay.
Okay, so that's for fiscal year 2 computer replacements for the 2510 through Northledge Technologies. It's after July 1st, but we want them on order so he can build them and then bill us first of the fiscal year. And yeah, I'm glad we're doing it. We can push it down. Computer prices are going up. They're estimating 25% for.
Wow.
So. Those two are signed. Tomorrow night, we have the public hearing for question 1 on the ballot for the roll-off truck at 6 p.m. next door to the community center. School board meeting for the budget vote is at the Mollyocket Middle School Gym at 7 p.m. Thursday, May 29th at 6 p.m. right here will be the select board workshop with the playground committee. Public is welcome. One of the changes to the personnel policy is this acknowledgement of receipt of employee handbook. The Employee Personnel Policies Handbook describes important information about the town of Brownfield, and I, the employee, understand that I should consult the administrative assistant regarding any questions not answered in the policy. Since the information, policies, and benefits described herein are necessarily subject to change, I acknowledge that revisions to the handbook may occur. All such changes will be communicated through official town notices, and I understand that revised information may supersede, modify, or eliminate existing policies. Furthermore, I acknowledge that this handbook is neither a contract of employment nor a legal document. I have received the handbook and understand that it is my responsibility to read and comply with the policies contained in the handbook and any revisions made to it. That will be incorporated into the personnel policy along with these the changes for the job descriptions, and we'll do vote on the changes at the last fiscal year meeting that we have this year, and then new fiscal year. Of course, we need to update the remainder. The policy itself is updated, but the job descriptions aren't. And with the creation of the municipal fire department, she's currently working on the employees folders, so we need to get all that on board as well. So, and that takes effect July 1st, the municipal fire department. So yeah, mid third week of July, we should have it wrapped up, I think. Yeah. All right. Okay. That's that. That's right.
Go for it.
Yeah, Joe.
All right, Joe Egan. The sign's been fabricated. It's sitting in a Neocraft shop up in Lewiston. The frame's been fabricated, just needs to be oiled. That'll happen tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. We're waiting to hear back from 2 concrete contractors. We're kind of lost faith in one, but the other one said that he would get us a price. As soon as we get that price, we want to try to get it installed as soon as possible. Cliff's going to take care of calling 1-800-DIG. He'll dig for the contractor who's going to do it. As soon as we get that in, 7 days after that, we'll give Neocraft a heads up once it's poured and let them schedule. They need about 2 weeks, they said, in order to bring the sign down. And then Whit will take care of getting DW from the electrician on board to take care of that. So that's the latest on that. And then on the second thing is on the enterprise grant, we sent in the letter asking the state to do an historical review of the site to make sure that it's, not on any registers of, like historic places. Terry Ann Holden told us it's, pretty much it's a routine thing, but it's required paperwork. So we sent that in. We're waiting to hear back. Once we hear back from them, we've got a couple other forms that'll need to be signed by one by you, Ricky, and Bill. It's just to say that you don't know of anything that's like a health-wise problem with the community center. And there's a little paragraph there, and both of you will get a chance to read it. And then after that, we'll start getting other paperwork in. She told us that there are towns that drop out in this process, even though they're told you're going to get X number of dollars. And both Lynn and I told her that we're not worried about that. Our only concern right now, we're asking for the public's help on this, is it's going to be tougher for contractors because there is paperwork to fill out. It's not, it's more the volume of it than how difficult it is. But it is prevailing wage, and they do tell you that you have to pay your workers this much for a carpenter hourly rate and this much for benefits, and they have to confirm that they do that, at least that minimum amount. So when we go out looking for contractors, and it'll be advertised in several newspapers, on the website, we'll even put it in the newsletter, looking for contractors. If you know of anybody, and we're also gonna ask the state to give us the names of some contractors that are willing to do this paperwork, to get them to give us proposals for it. If anybody knows of any contractors out there, and it's basically carpentry, you know, if we're lucky, if we have enough money to cover the three things we wanna do, which is replace the siding, replace the roof over the classroom section, that front section, and replace the frame and door at the boiler room. The other caveat with that is if we go over $100,000 with one contractor, they have to include $4,000 to $5,000 for payment and performance bond. And there's no way we can get around that. You know, we asked, the only way we could get around that is if we divided it up and we gave one contractor, let's say the door and frame, you know, like, or the siding, and then the other contractor did the other work. You know, then we could break it up. I got in touch with Mr. Bucci from the Department of Environmental Protection, just because I think everybody's 99% sure that the paint on the building, at least in some spots, contains lead. And Mr. Bucci is gonna get back in touch with me, but he assured me, based on our conversation, that we really shouldn't have anything to worry about as long as we don't scrape or grind it. You know, like if we're gonna remove it, that's fine, take the boards off and, you know, bring them to the transfer station. But he's a very cooperative guy, and I expect to hear back from him next week, because there's this process called T-clip, and it has something to do with, you know, verifying that there's lead on there. And the painter, Jeff Jakes, said that he has a test and that he'll come out and he'll test it to confirm it. But everybody who's looked at it has said, you know, based on what it looks like with the alligator effect, that, you know, like it's most likely lead paint, and especially since, I don't know if it's been painted since 1959, but back then it was much more likely that the paint contained lead. So that's the update, but things are moving along, so.
That would have been my job, I didn't do it, so. Thank you.
Barb Moulton, just so I can comply. Just a question, next week, is Ron Smith still coming on Thursday?
Yep.
the 5th? Okay.
Correct.
And that's at 5:30?
I believe so, yes.
And he's gonna give us a run, I'm sorry.
All right.
Audit brief.
How does the audit come?
Yeah, we're gonna find out completely on
Next
next Thursday at 5:30. The auditor's coming here for our audit briefs.
And that'll be a meeting here
That
next
is
Thursday at 5.
correct.
Okay. On the door, that you have to change it to make it handicap accessible?
Needs to open this way.
Huh?
Needs to open this way instead of the other way.
Really?
Correct.
For
Door
it to be
swing.
handicapped
Correct.
accessible?
Yep, door swing with the table. Otherwise, we gotta reconstruct the room.
Okay, so it doesn't need an automatic opener, it needs to just change the swing.
No, the automated door is for the front entry doors.
No, I just want.
Yeah, no, just needs to swing the opposite
Just change
direction.
the swing.
Yep.
Okay. That's all I wanted.
Anybody else? We're supposed to put on the agenda.
I don't know. I thought we pushed that. Oh, we're at it.
I don't know.
You're pointing at me for, I told you, I had it all set.
Y'all say, well, you might, something might have come up, you heard it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
making sure.
That's all.
Look out for the old fellas, man.
I lost it.
Anything, man? Nothing. Make a motion to adjourn. Okay. All in favor? Thank you, folks.
There's a reason I set that aside.
You want to- Hey, everybody.
Oh, Judge Judy, you can go.
It's good.
Oh,